guy popped up there in the top left. He's a very well-known TO here in Vegas. He's going to be, well, his
Oh yeah, Bear.
girlfriend's going to be running that Genesis 7 side tournament in Oakland. So if anyone wants to make quick work of me and take the title, go for it. There's going to be a couple other players there as well that are already confirmed,
Yeah.
but Awesome
Um.
Michael and a Bear is still very good, honestly. And he's been coming up and up as we're heading here into DKJ. Darky taking the lead, but he falls.
Oh no, Darky. And that is like something like you don't want to start off on. But honestly, with Darky, he's the number two. He's the number two player on the MKC leaderboard. So, or the MKDX leaderboard. So he could probably make it out. I know he can definitely make it out. But we'll just have to see like right now, like how much like effort like the people around him can just like. True, true. I lost track what I'm
I
saying,
know what
dude.
you're saying. I know what you're
Two, two,
saying.
200 like takes your breath away, man.
Yeah, we're not going to have any sound for this one, unfortunately, so we're going to have to bite the bullet there. But anyways, he is in second. He has this shroom, and there is going to be that Roy up ahead of him, and that is a Roy, I believe, from round number 1. I just don't know who it is. Devoty behind him, as well as Eric, and so that's something to keep in mind. Eric, the top-seeded player here, but he does have these 2 shells. So shot coming in. There's going to be a dodge in the back. That's either from it might be from Alpha there in the red Yoshi, but I don't know if Alpha is pink or red here going to this one. So huge dodge there in the back coming up from a player. Devoty moves into second here with those shells. And there's another star coming up into play. That's Ember.
Yeah, and Darky basically kind of bouncing everywhere. Oh, he gets starred and a red. Okay, not going over to him, but he almost just got hit by one targeting James.
Oh, so one thing we'll just kind of take a note of here as this race ends is it looks like Darky's going to get 5th or 4th here as someone got trailed and trailed at the line. So Darky gets 4th. It's going to be Michael that gets first, followed by Ember, James, Darky, and then Evie there moves in. Devoty might have been the one that got hit there, but crazy thing is I think kind of going into this now, we're not seeing the same names. So I do recall that a rule of the I guess you could say that the semifinals is that all the players get reseeded. So
Yeah,
so what we called out earlier on actually isn't who's in the semifinals. It's Eric, Darky, Ejai, Slater, Ember.
and
I don't want
Summon,
to
I
butcher your
think.
name. James, Alpha, Michael, Luma, which is Evie, Devoty, and Ellie here. So cool stuff seeing some of those guys that we just saw having all that momentum, especially James coming in now, Devoty as well, coming in now and playing in this bracket with some of the top guys that had that bye from that first round.
Yeah. Um. One thing I think. Okay, actually, who won that last race? I think it was
That was Michael.
that was Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael is okay. That's an interesting pick. He tried to pick Bowser's Castle, but not working out for him. The RNG not allowing him to go for that. But we do see Smuggle Desert second track again. That is exactly what happened in that last quarterfinal.
It is. Yeah, they just can't seem to get away from it. I'm not sure who picked it. But you got to think, right, that logically it was someone that came in from maybe that last semi or last quarterfinal race rather that picked it yet again.
Oh, and I literally thought Darky was just about to run that. I have never
No,
seen
he's
Darky
bagging.
run.
He's
Yeah,
bagging.
yeah, but like I have never seen him run this track, or I don't even know if I ever will. But not today, I guess, or not in this semifinal. But he is like kind of playing around. He didn't like normally like what you do is like you stick around that first like line of items. He kind of jumped around. Oh, and he gets hit by greens.
Ember, being his teammate from Aurora and as well on PH, just trolling him, just backing the green before he goes in there. You can tell, like, some of these players are very comfortable with other players here, and you're seeing a little bit of the initial D. You're seeing some of the, there's also, I think, Blizzard in here as well. Huge shot coming in there as a couple dodges going to effect, and now James
Yeah, that
moving
was
up.
4 or 5 dodges there. That was like honestly, if you were have had that shock, I think you should have just waited just to play it safe. But you just helped out a lot of players there, dude.
Yeah, the timing was a little bit interesting, just given the
Yeah.
fact of
Oh
where they
no,
were.
and he has a bullet. Honestly, bullet, in my opinion, is not really good for this track because like, so he just got or activated it at the finish line. Like normally, it would deactivate, yeah, right there, and he hits that, and he
Wiggler
hits
thing
yeah,
is
and he
what I
hits the
call it.
yeah, Wiggler thing,
The
yeah.
Wiggler thing. Yeah, I get chewed out all the time for just making up names for things, but you know, that's what we're gonna go with. This is actually gonna help Darky here though, as everyone's getting hit. He kind of recovers to eighth. I mean, not kind of what you're looking for there, but it could have been worse. Ember, who was trolling Darky a little bit earlier there with those back spams early on, does take first there. So Ember,
And
Michael
he
tied
ties
there.
with Michael for first. Evie 10 points back at 17 points in third.
Yeah, Riley made a good point in the chat. If Bullet's incredible on dry drive, you know where to chain it, and yeah, that is true. I personally like to activate a bullet kind of between that second item box set, going into that like little abyss black hole of doom, then going into that item box set before those like jumps and before the cut there at the end. So I don't know, to each his own, I guess, but Darky again kind of staying loyal there to that DP3 pick.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, DP3, I guess he's still going with it. And he's not the only one that's wanting DP3. And some people want Electrodome, some people still want Rainbow Road. Um, Not really too much to say. They just like certain tracks in this game, and obviously certain tracks do have certain effects to how you play and how other people play.
For
Like,
sure.
and there's always a saying that like try to like do your own race. You can't really control like things outside your own range. Some in this game you kind of can because you're interacting with 11 other players.
That is true. So you're seeing Darky kind of go the I believe this is the tunnel path. I
Yeah,
normally don't ever
and
take
he
this
gets
path,
trailed
but
by Eevee.
the good thing is that the blue shell obviously doesn't go into the tunnel, so that's a good little manipulation point for anyone wanting to know. But he is going to have a free range here to go get that double, and now has a star behind his star along with a boo going into this next set of item boxes.
Oh, and he just trailed that Boo like immediately after that star.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, like I don't understand what he was trying to go for there, but normally like you should keep that like you should use that star and then use that Boo. Because oh, and he falls off. That was really unfortunate by Darky. Darky in 12th place. Something very unfamiliar that I've never seen from him.
Yeah, that was a small misplay from him. It's very kind of unorthodox. Nobody opts to go for the double there, but Darky kind of didn't want to get screened. Goes for that single there right on the left. You're seeing Michael and Ember, the two leaders here in sixth and seventh, coming out, and just mayhem is ensuing here. As now Darky opts to take the less traveled by path. If you're doing English class, you're going to know who Robert Frost is, and that was probably the move there. Took the road less traveled. Now back into seventh here with three shrooms.
Yeah, and I think that is James all the way in first potentially, but or actually that might not be
Got to watch
James,
out for
but
this blue.
oh
Oh,
well,
hit by that
he already
star. He's got to watch out
and
for
he
the bomb. Goes
oh no,
wide and gets shocked over the cut.
oh my gosh, so much is happening, but Darky's gonna have to try to salvage an 11th, and he does.
So
So yeah,
James wins, followed by Eric Devoty. It's
James
Soman or
was
Salmon, and Ember gets fifth. So Ember moves slightly ahead by 2 points.
yeah James was so far ahead. Like, I think yeah, and a lot happened there, and, like, he was like whenever Darky got shocked, James was safe and secure in first, and because he already finished the race.
Yeah, that was wild. And now Darky's got to be a little bit concerned. He can't let the kind of the mental effects of that one get to him. And he's usually relatively good about that. I know like sometimes when I'm in calls with him, he'll get a little vocal, just like I do. Like this game just on a quick side tangent here. I've never been one to like flip out over a game until I started playing Mario Kart. And it wasn't until
Yeah.
my first war, which somehow happened to be an MKU. I don't understand how that happens. Division 8 old format or Division, I don't know. I think it was D8 old format, but yeah, then you realize how much this game can really take a toll on you. But right there, I mean, so much happened. You got that fire, back spammed and back to him, and then the shock on the cut as he had the shrooms going up. Just wild stuff here as we head into MKS.
And he did a good job of avoiding that fire up until he thought, "Okay, I'm safe. Let me try to go wide." And then that last fireball covered him.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally just that last one. And now you're going to see traffic here in that little Nisk area. A couple people got wrecked by it, but Darky seemed to be okay. And it looks like it's Devoty, Michael, and then that might be maybe Eric there. I'm not sure who that Golden Mario is, but I should. I think that was a player from the previous race as well.
Yeah, Michael barely gets Darky there with that red, and now that puts Darky all the way in the 8th.
So he
And
does
right
have
now
his Piranha Plant.
and he decides to go ahead and use it since he needs some of the acceleration that he can get. And he almost got Eric free with that Piranha Plant, but sadly Eric free barely got the triple reds.
So
And
he's
there
going
we
to
go. Now
bullet
we
through the plants, and this is going to help him. It's going to take the wide line here, so that's not going to advance his position too much, but has this golden shroom. Oh,
yeah.
narrowly avoids the bomb
Oh wow, that bomb
by like
barely.
by pixels maybe. He's coming
And
up
right
on
now,
Slater.
yeah, Darky in 4th right now, trying to see if he can salvage something. Right now it's looking like 7th, and it is 7th.
So Ejai wins, followed by Slater, Devoty, Soman, Eric Free, and James. So now Darky all the way in 20 or 10th, but it's really tough. I got to go look back at this delay and kind of capture everything here as they're coming across the line. But what a wild turn of events.
Yeah, and there are 3 people I think that were coming across that part where you normally shroom, star, or like get through all those pipes. 3 people came across and like got in front of Darky before Darky could even finish.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at it. You could literally throw a blanket on second through ninth or 10th at this point. They're separated maybe by a race, 15 points. So that's going to continue to change. You're seeing a small little cushion there for Member, but again, nobody's safe yet. It's still way too early on. So we'll maybe see, yeah, like, with Michael at 35, Ember there at 39, we're seeing a lot of those 20s in there as well. So something to kind of keep in mind on. No one's really out of this yet. Even Ellie there with 12 after race 4 still has a chance to come back and get into the top 6.
Yeah, and here we go. DP3 going on right now. Um, you said this was a favorite of Darky's. We'll
It
have to
is.
see. Yeah,
He's
and
going to
we'll have
run
to.
this probably too.
Oh, he's gonna run it, and he makes that patch all the way through. That honestly, that strat is like very weird to me because like it could either go very good for you or it could go it's very horrible, and you can just miss it and not even make up a single placement. But Darky seems to be having pretty good time right now, and he's using that to the best of his ability. He's going 2nd right now with a pink gold peach in 1st. I don't know who that is. I don't know if you caught it.
Early shot coming in, 2 dodges from what looks like James. Now a late star coming in as well from the Roy up above. So
Did
that
we
looks like
have
Devoty, and also that was James and one other player up at the front dodged that as well.
Yeah, I think we had 4 dodges up there, so not necessarily the best shock, but it helped out a lot of people.
Oh, I don't know.
Uh,
Oh no, catastrophic
oh
smart
no,
bounce
Darky,
for Darky, and
no.
that's honestly happened to me so many times. And it wasn't so much that he turned too far to the right; it's because he nudged that side of the barrier as he was
Oh,
cutting
and that was the
through.
3rd lap too. I
Yeah,
thought
he
we
was
were on
cutting through,
2nd.
and now Eric is 5 points ahead of Ejai there, who won the previous race. Uh, That was big, unfortunate circumstance for Darky. That smart bounce. That's happened to me a lot, and that's why I don't like DP3 to some degree. But Ember wins it, followed by Soman and Michael and James. So already you're seeing, Ember there 9 points ahead in first place over Michael. Ember's really kind of pulling away with this one overall, but really there's still a lot of room to get into this top 6.
Yeah, and especially since it's not even 12 races. This is 16 races. So that honestly think it's about to be an extra 12 minutes to what we already have.
Oh,
So
don't remind me. That means I've been commentating for at least 48 races. Nice.
yeah.
It's been fun. It's been a wild ride, especially with 200cc. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm getting word I
200
might be relieved hereafter. We might both be, honestly, which is
yeah.
kind of good. But nonetheless, though, Very exciting just seeing the solo circuit finals. Obviously, this is the culmination of all of the different free-for-all tournaments we've had, highlighting the top 200cc players here in competitive Mario Kart. So very exciting to kind of see how this all kind of progresses.
Yeah,
Oh, and it's Baby
and
Park. This is the
and it's
lottery ticket that Darky needed.
yeah, Dark, and also like ever since I've been playing, this has been one of Darky's favorite tracks, and also another track that Darky is also very known for.
I believe he
And
he might have close to the world record on this track in time
yeah,
trials as
actually,
well.
he held the world record for the longest time, but ever since he got knocked off, he hasn't been able to like come back and reclaim it.
I mean, you're just seeing exactly what he's doing, just hugging that apex of the turn.
Oh
Oh, but
no, on
someone
the
smartly
banana.
put a banana on the exit of the turn. And now, luckily, he does have the shroom, though, but it's going to be Eevee and Ejai there, going to be taking the top two spots. But this is going to be a very quick race. We already only have 2 more laps to go. And a
Oh
back
wait,
by Eevee.
how did he get hit?
He got backed,
Oh
but he's
wow.
still doing semi-decent here with his item pulls. Going to move into third here. Oh, but he
Oh
gets
no,
hit
and
from
he gets
behind.
threat.
And the shot comes into play with
Okay,
3 dodges.
he dodges the iframes of the shock, so he could try to get something, and I think he gets
That
sixth.
was a good recovery, I mean,
Good
considering the
recovery. He went from
circumstances.
10th to 6th.
Ellie there getting
But
second, that's huge as well. But now it's going to be Ishai, Soman already. There's a tie for 6th now as we're coming into play here at the end of this one.
that was very unfortunate for Darky. He honestly, if everything went his way, he had that race free.
Yeah, that looked
But
like it. Oh my gosh, there is literally like 5 points, I think, separating like third through 7th right now, all the way from James down to like Soman, I believe. It's wild. Just looking at those numbers, you got to glance at them pretty quickly. Obviously, it's a little bit harder when you're juggling like 3 things, but keep an eye on those standings when the standings do pop up because it's really showing you how close this room is, and we got plenty more races to go.
yeah, we are kind of in for the long haul, honestly. But this ain't even gonna be the longest amount of races. 24 races in the finals awaits the top 6 from this lobby.
Top
And the
six from
next
this lobby will join the top 6 from the next lobby, and that's going to be like Themo, Mitch, Kai, Toshiki, Brandon, Ryan, Shadow, Daniel, Elmer, Ulster, Cinda, and UUU. So that'll be a good one. Here on GBA, though, this is going to be a fun one where we'll see probably a small amount of people either soft bag here or go back, and a series of them run as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another one of those tracks, and right now I think we're actually seeing more, like maybe more people bag. Yeah, I think it's like 7-5 on bagging right now. I've never seen that many people bag on this track before, honestly.
Yeah, free for all is just a little bit more wild. Sometimes like we like to do four run, two back as a formation, if you ever think about that in a team setting. But free for all, it's anything goes. There are no teammates, and everyone is just out to kill you with items. But we're
Yeah,
seeing
and
Darky here doing a good job at least.
yeah, and if you do team, you get banned probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's just something you just can't do. It does look like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
I'm
I think
waiting for the shock.
yeah, I think he was about to turn on that star, but right before he could, the shock just got him.
Yeah, there were
And
a
a
few
lot
dodges there. That was another early shock. I don't know if that was. I mean, they might have been trying to TS the leaders up front, but I'm not entirely sure. But Darky does have a decent item set here. Opts to go in for the star and try to pull something here. Oh, gets
Oh no, and
screened.
he misses the item box, but he gets sold. Barely went past the guy who was getting blued
He got very
and
lucky
salvages.
there.
Yeah, and salvages the third. That was a really good play, but honestly, I would want to have been surprised if he did get hit with that blue along with the person in first.
Yeah, this is really allowing Ember to kind of break away here from at least the top spot. But from like the 6th place on down with Ember taking that win and Alpha getting second, that's going to put Alpha into, oh man, Alpha's only in 11th even with that second. So there's a lot of different stuff kind of happening here, but still plenty of opportunity with the 16 race format here in the semifinals to continue to get yourself locked in. But there are starting to be a couple gaps spreading now.
Yeah, and Obviously, like, I don't know since I've never actually seen, like, more than 12 races in a lobby, obviously. I don't think we've seen much of that. Like, you can never know what's going to happen after 12 races because you've only seen up to 12 races. Like,
Right.
and from what I, like, can probably tell, um, what's gonna happen is probably the top 3, maybe top 2 is going to, like, branch off from everybody else unless, like, they just happen to get, like, absolutely crushed, first of all, but then again, that's gonna be really hard to happen. Darky and Ember go to the very back, but they're not even the only ones bagging. I think that was a 12 or a 2 to 10 ratio. Maybe not even that. Maybe it was like a 3 to 9. But a lot of people decide to bag there.
Yeah, the shock is virtually guaranteed here. It's just a matter of when. And now the biggest thing right now is like there is a small gap starting to form around that sixth place position. Ember's probably relatively safe, as well as potentially Evie or that second place player.
Yeah.
Going to see the bullet extension come into play here from Darky, and this is really going to kind of change things. Blue Shell as well knocks out second place and is going to probably fall into the hands of Alpha there, who's in first. And so great use of the extension there by Darky, but man, I'm a little bit concerned right now. Darky could be in a position where players around him
Oh,
for
and
that
he is
shock.
moving it.
And
He
there it
got
is. There's the shock. And so it's coming into play. Series of dodges coming out. But man, it's wild. It's like the Wild West here on Cheeseland.
honestly, like, the iframes, like, Darky dodged the iframes, and, like, it didn't really seem to bother him much, like, getting shocked either way. But as we can see, he's in ninth right now. He's got to try to make a little bit of a comeback, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Oh, he gets
Gets
his item boo, but it wouldn't have made too much of a difference there anyways.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he
seventh
salvages
place
a
on
seventh.
Darky. He hasn't like been into the top spots too much in these, and he's still in 10th.
Man, one
And
point gap there between fifth and seventh. So tie there for fifth. And man, you're starting to see that top part kind of break away now, but again, it's still kind of anybody's game for those final couple spots.
yeah, um,
It's
what?
Devoty, James, and Slater, and then you got Ejai there as well with 51. So there's like a four-person kind of battle, but honestly, there's still a lot of players that are like mathematically still in it.
Yeah, Darky isn't honestly playing as the peak where I think he can play. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are happening in those races aren't going his way, and he can't control that. So there's just teeny mistakes right now are playing a huge factor in in his livelihood of whether he gets top 6 or not. Right now it isn't looking too good, but if he honestly one of the only ways he could probably get back into the top 6, he has to win probably 3 or 4 races in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is he still has 7 races, and he's still relatively close. And I think going back to your point about that we haven't really seen 16 races, you got to factor in that there's no repicks, right? So as we're going into these later rounds with 16 races here in the semis, then we're going to have a 24 race finals. You're basically utilizing half or a solid like chunk of that course catalog that you really have to be a well-rounded player to be advancing and getting in these top six in these later rounds.
Yeah, and something like Darky right now, every single race he's started off in the bottom positions. That isn't like I think he's intentionally doing that just so he can like slowly work his way up and take charge of the top 4 finish. But even that hasn't worked yet.
No, because
And
it's been something random, like a random stray fire, like you just saw right there. Luckily, didn't hit anybody around it, but this trail by Ejai gets around it and now goes in for the boo, and luckily gets a relatively decent item pull there. It goes for the
oh,
mushroom
Eric
into the.
creates a bomb. Um oh yeah, and he uses it. He takes out 2 to 3 people right there. Darky getting through. Now he's in top 4, not top 4 territory. We'll have to see if he can make his way up.
He does. He's battling right there with the Metal Mario. That's going to be Ember who switched over from Yoshi. You got Eric free there as well there. doesn't get anybody with that air horn. This is a huge battle here for second through fourth.
Yeah,
Oh
Darky gets
no!
hit, and he's all the way back in seventh. We'll have to see if he can salvage something, and he salvages ninth.
Ninth.
He got passed there by 2 people,
Ellie and
and
Soman. Slater takes the win, followed by Eric and Ember. So now,
Dark.
yeah,
Yeah,
again,
Darky
just,
isn't looking good right
but
now. It
it's
is
still
looking.
so close between kind of like that fourth through. I'm going to take a look again here. That fourth through kind of like the bottom area of the pack. You got fourth at
Yeah,
66, fifth 63, sixth 62, and then even where Darky is, he's at 52, so he's still within 10 points with plenty of races left to go. I mean, it's still a little bit concerning. You want to have that cushion, but like, I
yeah,
don't know.
but Darky is going to need some of those top spots, and if he doesn't get, I think the next 2 races, if he keeps finishing in those bottom spots, probably anything under 8th, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even make the next final.
He's going to have to change something here for himself specifically. We're going to be going to Mario's circuit.
Yeah,
This will
my
be pretty
favorite track, of
interesting.
course.
And
I yeah, I almost got top 10 NA in this. So all I
Ember
could,
and Michael looking pretty good. Everyone else is a little bit still
yeah.
out of the air.
Yeah, this track is nice. This one also, like, some people can bag. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we saw like 5 people bag, 7 people run. Or we're gonna be seeing less than that. Actually, I think Ember's the only one that kind of stayed away. Actually, never mind.
Yeah, they all had second thoughts. They all had second
Yeah.
thoughts. You're seeing Evie
And
back there as well.
you do kind of have a little bit of time. Like, you have a less time than you normally would in 150, but like you do nonetheless, you still have some time to think out, okay, maybe I do want to stay back, keep a star. Darky barely gets past those greens. Like the boo wore off at the same time where those greens could have hit him.
And do you happen to know who that Daisy player is? Because up there, it's going to be Daisy and likely James. Alpha there in fourth. There's another Waluigi player up there as well.
I haven't kept track of who that Daisy is, but I think like James is up there right now. He seems to have been doing really well right now in these set of races in the last quarterfinal.
Interesting use of the bullet here. Is going to take a slightly longer path around, but he does have that star to come in after. And so
Yeah.
Darky,
Oh, excellent use of the star. If he didn't use that, he would have gotten that benefit.
he would have, and his day would have been done for sure on this
Yeah.
map.
He's playing a little bit better. Ellie's out in first. We'll have to see if he does get hit because he's been getting hit a lot on these last couple laps. But right now he's looking pretty good. He looks like he's about to take this unless he gets past. He finally gets that win. This is his first win after 11 races.
That is, and that was actually Ellie there running up in the second position, which means James was in that third or fourth position there, and it was Soman who was that baby Daisy. So Darky
And
now moves
one
into sixth.
race gets him back into sixth. That was a really huge win for Darky, and it's a 1 point from sixth to seventh right now. He just brought him back into this race. I thought it would take multiple wins for him to get where he needed to be, but I guess 1 win was just enough.
Well, he was down by roughly 10, and I mean, a lot of those other players had bad races. You saw Ellie there, who was on the bottom, get the second place there. So huge recovery there by some of these players there on the bottom. So now, I mean, yeah, it's still anyone's game. No one's still mathematically out of this by any means. You just saw it right there. Darky just now has to continue this momentum, and these players just can't let those extra 4 races get to them. This is going to be a longer event. And it's still,
Yeah.
if you're looking at the numbers right here, you got a 50 from Ellie, who just got second in that last one, and Darky sitting in that sixth position there at 66. So still plenty of times if Ellie can continue to get a win or two, or the other players get bottom spots, still very much in it.
Yeah. And we got Wario Goldmine picked off of random. Darky, we'll have to see what like and he gets knocked off immediately and sends him to 11th, now 12th.
Uh-oh. And yeah, so you're seeing Soman there, you're seeing James there. So a lot of the top players kind of in those bottom spots. And yeah, as Adam mentioned, Jetliner there in the chat, fourth is 68, 12th is 50. So again, with about 5 or so races to go, maybe 6, 11, 12, 6, I can't count. That's
Yeah.
still plenty of room.
Oh, no, and the sound horn knocks him back out. He was
That was
just gaining
Eric.
momentum. That was Eric?
I think it might have been Eric because he kind of ran away and it affected another Waluigi player. That was either Ellie or James kind of whoever's with Darky right now. If he uses his back camera, we'll get a glimpse of maybe who
Yeah,
that might be.
yeah. Darky was using those, was managing those shrooms very well, and then he just gets horned off the side like
He sees
that.
the blue shell. The shock might be imminent here relatively soon, especially with the
How did
distance of
Eric?
Soman.
Oh my gosh, Darky just avoided three different amounts of
The
fireballs.
fire. Got to be careful. This is weatherman time right now. The senses are tingling here, but he does have this. Has the red shell. Takes out Devoty. Moves into third, but
Oh, and
Devoty was
there goes
back.
that, and there goes that fire. Darky said to bring the heat, and I guess he got what he wanted.
Players starring up in the back. They must see something, or they must all be getting kind of lucky with those items. You never know. And this is where we're going to see something. If we see a blue shell coming in, Darky's got to take a little bit of a wider line. He
Oh
gets hit off.
no! What?
He
Did he
didn't.
get
Yeah,
hit by a red
he
and blue at the same time?
maybe he goes back to sixth, luckily, and salvages something there. But I think it was the blue shell that hit him. Devoty, followed by Eric, Ishai, Alpha, Michael.
Yeah,
That's huge
and,
now. Darky somehow maintains sixth. James on the outside looking in.
yeah. 2 point difference between sixth and seventh. I'm surprised Darky kept that sixth place even after like getting hit, and that's basically what he's been like. He's been playing like these last 2 or 3 races. He's been playing his part to where he is in that top spot, and then just something happens, something out of his control, hits him, and
Yeah.
he gets sent back.
And this is wild. So 5 races left. I mean, still so many players in this, and you got to think of this too, right? James is in seventh, and James actually got off to a great start earlier on in this semifinal. But
Yeah,
we
and
saw what he can
Darky.
do. We saw what he can do in the quarterfinal and just turn on the Jets in the later part. He's at 71. You're seeing Ellie there at 51 compared to Dark there at 73. That's a little bit bigger of a gap than before. Slater there at 70. So this again
Darky
is
gets
pretty
his
wild.
track. Yeah, Wario Stadium. Honestly, this is one of the tracks that you'd pick if you were in first or second, because this is a huge front run track. You're not going to see anybody waiting to get a single item. You're going to see everybody just going, trying to secure one of those top spots without having to rely on items to get you up there.
This here is the bane of my 200cc existence at Z turn without smart steering. But nonetheless, these guys are so good at it. They can get through. He's trailing behind Eric and Ijai there. So look at that red coming in. Ijai trying to outrun it. Hits the wall. And then Darky gets booed, trying to use this boomerang to take out Ijai here. And can he
Yeah,
do it? He throws it back and he connects
he
with
throws
somebody
it back,
behind
and
him.
I don't know who he got, but I'm assuming it's going to be Eric Free since Eric was in third.
So yeah, let's go with that. Now Ichai falls off. Or no, that was like. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, I was gonna say that was a little bit uncharacteristic, but here's Darky gonna take the shroom here with the cut, kind of move parallel up to Ijai there, but he's trailing that banana here going into the final lap.
Yeah, and Darky has a sound horn, tries to get Ejai with it, but misses. I'm assuming that like since lag is into play, since this is online, there are people just like where you think are in your range, but sadly they're not. Oh, a blue
Oh,
shell,
we're
and
playing the waiting game here. Oh, and it hits Ijai. It hits Ijai. Darky timed the track correctly and now has the
and
lead. Now he has a
and
defensive banana.
and unless Darky or unless somebody can hit Darky in time, he'll get hit. But sadly, that doesn't happen, and Darky takes that win. That's his second win. And also something to notice,
Eric moves in a second. Ijai,
everybody,
Michael Alpha.
yeah, everybody had stars in that last like third of the race.
Yeah.
I guess I don't think he was that far ahead, but I mean
So
he did kind of run away with that.
yeah, and now right now we're looking and we're seeing Devoty there in the catbird seat with 84, Ijai there in sixth with 80 or 79 for that matter. So he's only 6 points behind. And now I mean, the gaps are starting to kind of widen a little bit here. Unfortunately, it looks like for Ellie, mathematically kind of in a tough spot here at this point, but basically still allows us to be an 11 or 10 player game still going into the final four races here.
Yeah. Um. So we got four. So we got four races. Basically, it's like normally now is whenever it would end, but like obviously Soul Circuit's like add more races, add more hype. That's basically what's going on right now. So normally, like what you would see is just like people like playing to that 12th race to try to stay safe, but now they're gonna have to keep that for another few races. Darky in first place, starting off on Royal Raceway. Um,
And
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some people like maybe stayed back, but I don't think we're gonna be seeing that much. We have a 10 to 2 ratio.
we do, and
Um,
I'm kind of curious too because James is down by 10 or 11 points behind Darky, and remember he got so clutch in that last one. So kind of curious to see what's going to happen with him. And then you also the thing we don't talk about that what we should is kind of this battle for supremacy up at the front between Michael and Ember. Ember 105 to Michael at 102, 3-point lead for him going into the final four. But it's all Darky right now. We got to be a little bit concerned here with the distance at some point. A lot of early shocks coming into play. Could see that coming in here potentially in a glider situation. So obviously something to keep in mind about here as we're going into lap number 3.
yeah, and this little patch of the track, that is where you're gonna see mainly people with shrooms and with stars
For
coming out
sure.
coming out to play, and that is a really huge role. So some back. Oh wait, we see a blue. I wouldn't be surprised if Darky just ran off, but he's going to take it, and I think that's EJ is gonna come out, and oh my gosh, he almost gets hit by a green. He gets hit by a red instead.
He does. Oh man, he saw Evie there, didn't opt to go for that double. He's gonna probably need to get into the star just for the sake of security at this point over the glider. Opts not to. Bullet coming into play. Now uses the star, and he's just gonna kind of ride this out.
And there's that part I was talking about. Darky's gonna have to try to salvage something. He salvaged 6, which is gonna keep him inside the
This
top
is this
6.
is wild. Yeah, unless some of those bottom players didn't get some of the top spots, and they didn't really. You saw Slater get in there. This is really going to advance this a little bit more. But now Eshine Devoty there, 6 and 7, and that's really kind of the battle now as Darky, Eshine, Devoty, because the drop off after Devoty is a little bit thick right now. It's going to be like so we're looking at the tape delay here. Slater 10 points in 8th off of Devoty there in 7th. So that's kind of where we're starting to see this breakaway now between Darky, EGI, and Devoty for that real battle for the final 2 spots.
Yeah. And we're gonna see here. Darky opting for Dragon Driftway. Interesting pick to me. So especially because like I don't really know what kind of role it has in a setting. Like I don't know if you'd bag on that or you just front run. I would say probably it'd be more of a front run, if anything.
It could be, yeah,
Um,
especially too if you can kind of nail that NISC down and kind of break away. Oh, but we're going cheap here. So this is going to be pretty wild of a race, especially with the close quarters action kind of going in the final couple turns where you can easily drag or back items. Something to kind of keep
yeah.
in mind. My stomach is rumbling right now, so this is a good cue. Good cue. I got like jugs of water up beside me. Haven't showered yet, but you know what? We're here and we're committed to be bringing you some 200cc action.
Yeah. And obviously Cheap Beach, honestly, I think it's been more front run, and that's what it looks like right now. Darky getting redded, but he isn't necessarily out of the pack. What did he get hit by there?
Something by Eric, I think, but the biggest thing right now is oh
Oh,
misses
he
that bomb
missed
by
that
James,
bomb.
and it's a little bit concerning for James being back there just because he's one of the higher seeded players that was coming out of the quarterfinal for that matter,
Oh,
and
and Darky has a blue. A blue is
yeah.
now in play. I think he's about to get Alpha right now. Alpha, unless he has like a shroom or something, is going to avoid. Maybe not avoid it. Yeah, and he gets hit. And that's for everybody to make their move. Fireball hits Darky.
This is a little bit concerning for Darky, especially where Devoty is up there kind of in the middle of the pack. And then you have Ejai, who is, I think, around him there in one of the, potentially one of the Metal Marios, I want to say. It's
Yeah,
so
Darky has a good set of items right now where he can use unless he gets hit because he really doesn't have anything to defend
he
himself.
just can't be backed here. This is the most nerve-wracking part of the track. And Ejai
Yeah.
there almost got hit, but another 6th place finish for Darky. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Darky necessarily doesn't have to be winning these races right now. He just has to be like honestly keep getting those top sixes, just six in general, just to keep himself up there. Consistency keeps playing again.
So Ijai also gets 5th. Soman gets 11th. So now Soman moves back into 6th, 3 points ahead of Devoty, and also 7 points ahead of James. So this is going to come down to the wire yet again. I mean, so many different scenarios you could kind of speculate out here. Uh-oh. Someone just probably didn't get their track pick, and I don't think anyone DC'd. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
I was
It
hoping.
would suck right now if somebody DC'd because, like, especially with how close these races are, you want to keep track of where everybody's at. Because the guy from 12th, because Darky literally just did it a few races ago. He was in 11th, and now he's in that top 6.
SNES Rainbow Road, we've seen it twice. We're going to see it yet again here
And
as we're closing this out.
whenever I played this in my lobby, I was fortunate enough to win that race. But it's like the thing is, you gotta make sure like you got to keep going. Like, no matter what happens, you have to make sure nobody gets in your way. Because if you get hit once, it is very, very excruciating.
That is true.
And
We're going into this one, and yeah,
so
Discord
Darky
is
just has to
killing me
make
right
sure,
now.
like he has to play safe right now. He has to make sure like nobody does really much to him. If he gets hit once, he's kind of screwed. Oh, and he gets trailed by Ellie.
Yeah,
Something that.
Ellie.
Oh no, and he falls off.
Oh boy, this is going to be tough, especially on a front running track like this. And Ellie kind of racing more for pride at this point. Kind of mathematically got knocked out a couple of races ago, which is unfortunate after the the second place that Ellie had. But can I get this double here for Darky and Alpha back there as well? So we're seeing a lot of the top players kind of here in the back. So this is a little bit interesting. This could really shake up the the players around 6th and so kind of going forward.
Somebody's going to have to make a move right around now. If Darky wants to get back to that consistent 6th place, he has to make something work right now. And from the looks of it, he could do it. He's got to make sure he doesn't get hit by fire or that thwomp.
Are we going to see a blue or a shock? That is the question.
I don't know if we're gonna see anything. He uses the ramp. That is something that you don't see often. But he gets 8th place. Not necessarily a result that I think Darky needs right now. But let's see if he stays in that top 6. 6 exactly with Evie and Devoty
And
3 points
Soman moved
back.
down. Soman moved down from 6th to like 9th after that one. So wait a second. I'm taking a look at the stream delay here on my other monitor, and Soman gets 10th. So with that, now James moves into 5th, jumps over Darky, Evie in 7th, and then you got Devoty and Soman now on the outside looking in. So I mean, James just kind of, I don't know what he just got in that race. Obviously got a high spot, but just kind of silently moved from 7th all the way up to 5th. So that's interesting to say the least. So we're going to be going here into Cloudtop Cruise for this one. Not sure if JK is still here or not. The Discord is really failing on a lot of us right now, but we're going to be heading in here to the final race for this one. And I will just be solo commentating this, I think, because the Discord is dropping for me. Kind of unfortunate, but I'm going to go reset my Discord as we're talking. It is going to be Darky, though, here in 5th, going here into this one, followed by Ijai and Ellie there, up there in that 3rd position. So Ember also making his way in there, as it is going to be the air horn that Darky uses there in 4th, going into lap number 2, and very fun times here for some technical difficulties. But in this one right away, we are going here into lap number 2, and it is going to be Darky there with that red shell, got the triple bananas there behind him. We also have Ember there getting red shell there out of 2nd place with Michael there in 1st. So really interesting stuff there. We're seeing that red shell kind of trailing Michael. He probably has a defensive item there up in 1st. We're seeing the triple bananas now coming to play for Darky with a secondary shroom there as well. So we got Michael, we got Devoty, we got Alpha. We might have Ijai there kind of in the mid pack. So a lot of different things going on. And so, Google is investigating shoot. So my Discord died. So unfortunately, this is kind of interesting. We are stuck here, and we are gonna just close out this final lap. Triple Nan is here for Darky here in second. He's got to avoid these electric drops here. Blue shell coming in, and unfortunately, that is going to not really affect Michael. And now Darky does get second. Ember there as well. We're seeing some stars come up from the pack from Alpha and others, and this is huge for those final spots. Darky gets second. Ejai, James gets sixth. I think that might be it. Oh, Evie and Devoty both got bottom spots here. So James, Ejai take it out from some of the other players. Darky moves all the way up to fourth. Played it very safe, and here it is, the final numbers here on your screen with Darky, fourth, Ejai, fifth, James with a 3-point lead over Soman there for sixth, and look at that. Michael by 1 point beats Ember, Eric Free as well, getting 121 there in third, so really awesome stuff. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get back into this Discord there, as we've kind of set our final six right now for the finals in that case. So this is going to be very interesting here in this one. So we are going to go ahead. We are going to reset here and get these technical difficulties straight away for this next semifinal. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to have the next semifinal here starting relatively soon.